I'm particularly interested in How to Blitz Sight Singing. It seems like an interesting concept to me as a book. Can you tell me more?
I was approached by Sydney Children's Choir a few years ago. They wanted a book that was like the beginner theory book. They liked the introduction to pitch and rhythm notation in that beginner book, but they also wanted one that addressed sight singing. And so they asked me if I would write a book that was like the beginner book but also addressed sight singing. So I collaborated with them on what they wanted, and it was absolutely fascinating. For example, in the beginner theory book, the first rhythmic value that's introduced is the semi-breve. But for singing, a semi-breve is too long. So that's not the first rhythmic value that's introduced in this book. It's crotchet and 2 quavers that's introduced. Semi-quavers are introduced in this book, whereas they aren't in the beginner theory book very soon, because it's much easier for kids to sing. Even in terms of pitch, in most theory books, the very first note that's introduced is middle C, in the treble clef C, D, E. But in a sight singing book, it's F, G, A, because F, G, A sits in a child's vocal range much more comfortably. So it was absolutely fascinating learning the ways that a book like this would need to be tweaked for singing. They learn to sing in scale degree numbers, because there's nothing further to teach in when you have numbers in the book. Everybody already knows how to sing in numbers. So it's not aligned to a certain method. It's not aligned to Kadai or Orff. There's no solfege in it. It's just rhythm and pitch notation and scale degree numbers. And there are fun vocal games to do. So there are listening things where they have to listen to motifs on the page and then number the motifs they hear in the correct order. There's also something called a melody wheel, where they have a few different things to sing going around in a circle, and that means they're basically singing in a round, but they're sight singing this round.
And who is going to be using this book?
Well, it's fantastic for really young choirs. So we've had quite a few conductors who have embraced it in Australia, and they found that their young choristers are learning so much about reading music and sight singing music, as well as just singing it, because it's really fantastic for their music education to be well-rounded and not just to be singing by ear. We've found that certainly in England, there are lots of syllabuses where sight singing is part of the syllabus, and students have to do it as part of their exams. So this is a really helpful book for that as well.